jab, uppercut, leave you laid out on the floor. Try to duck and roll, hit and miss, now you counting stars. Should've practiced more, should've hit the mask, get out there more. Claim that you're the best. You gotta show me, son. Actions over words, baby boy. Is you real or what? Talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back
What's going on, everyone? Shout out to the hottest chat in the MFing game, AZOT official. No negotiations needed, period. You already know WCS back with another one. For those of you that's en route, I appreciate your support. Just hit the button. That's all. Just hit the button. That's all I ask. So, just a guy in the building, man. 402, stand up. One love, hit the like button, no doubt, man. One love to you. Shout out to 402, the first in the building. So as you all know, right, there's a lot of chit chatter. And if you listen to my live early today, I wasn't trying to upset anyone. I was just speaking bits and pieces as to what came to my mind. You know, it's almost like playing with a kaleidoscope and just trying to make it all look nice and fancy into something that's a real picture. But no, boxing conversation is never going to be a real picture. There's too many people that's out here trying to create these thoughts and give you this whole frame on what they believe their biased narrative should be. Boxing will always be that way. That's what makes it a bit challenging. You know what I'm saying? That's what makes it a bit challenging. Because boxing conversations have many voices that either know about the sport, who don't know about the sport. And of course, you have those that's in between. But the ones who pretend like they know about the sport usually get their information from somebody else that they believe is somewhat credible enough for them to go out here and repeat it. That's how that works. Somebody that's credible enough for them to listen to, and they can turn around and repeat what they just heard. And perfect example of that, before I get to the Crawford and Canelo tickets on sale, is that now we have the narrative on deck, y'all. The narrative is on deck that Shakur Stevenson is the number one lightweight in the division. Once again, let me repeat it. The narrative now is Shakur Stevenson is the number one lightweight in the division. So for me, I'm saying, well, what evidence did we equate this together to come up with that solution? I always mention deductive reason. How do you substantiate your formula to come up with a sustainable conclusion that people are going to look at you like, yeah, I believe that. Not too long ago, as I said earlier today, they was criticizing Shakur for his fight being boring with Edwin De Los Santos, right? They was criticizing him. They had him on the grill. Shakur was upset. People were sitting up there going at him, talking about he's a snoozer. You know, he's not an entertaining fighter, none of that. And then, you know, his hands was giving him issues, and people made sure they underscore that, right? But he goes in there. Let's be honest. Shakur goes in there, and this is no knock on Shakur. I'm just doing the live stream. I'm just talking about this specific topic because we have individuals that are going around trying their best to push hate on Tank Davis just to somehow jump on the bandwagon of Shakur Stevenson. It's just so fake. It's so freaking fake, man. Shout out to Shakur coming off a very superb, brilliant performance, 24-0, 11 knockouts. Okay. He went in there and defeated 33-1, 27 knockouts, William Cepeda. William Cepeda's first loss came this past weekend. All right. He's a 29-year-old Mexican southpaw. Okay. Now, check this out. Check this out. They say that William Cepeda is the number one lightweight in the game. Now, you've heard me say this time and time again on how the accomplishments of each fighter accumulates from division to division. If they don't go to another division, pretty much if they sustain a single division, their resume keeps on building and building and building, right? If in between time they get a championship fight, that also is additioned to their portfolio. Am I right or wrong? Okay. So they're saying William Cepeda is now all of a sudden the number one lightweight. Why? Because I guess they're tired of Tank Davis showing up on the news in the mugshot. That's why. So they want to somehow, in a sneakish, insidious way, they want to say, well, we're going to deduct points from Tank being, in the lightweight division as long as he have as the number one king of the division. We're going to somehow deduct points. We're going to penalize Tank for once again getting in trouble. I think that's what it is, because once again, it's with a female. I don't mind you having your own thought press. Independence is key, right? Build up your own strength, psychological, however your decision-making process is. I get it. I truly do. But don't try to fluff. Don't make boxing media. Don't make the narratives and topics more worse than they already are. Just because William Cepeda was ranked number one across the board, and while he was number one, he fought Tevin Farmer twice. He fought Tevin Farmer twice and went the distance. One was a 10-rounder and the other one was a 12-rounder. He fought him twice and went the distance, right? He won both fights. He went the distance. Right. Nobody was really talking about anything great that William did. They wasn't talking about anything great William did. They was like, oh man, Tevin Farmer hurt William Cepeda. He's down in round 4. Cepeda's down in round 4 in their first fight. We didn't expect this from Farmer. Cepeda's down. Down goes Cepeda. Cepeda was on the ground, right? The reason why this is so important for me to highlight is because they trying to leave it out, but they want to highlight Tank when he took a knee. The referee actually counted this because it was in the midst. It was in between a combination that Cepeda was dropped. Okay? I'm not going back and forth on what the referee did and did not do. Steve Willis, yes, dereliction of duty. But when it comes to boxing, they should have had rules and policies and standard operating procedures in place. They didn't have that, y'all. They didn't have nothing in place. Okay? So Cepeda went down in round 4, but he won a split decision. Split. Okay? Split decision. I want you to understand those two phonetic characters. Split decision. Do you hear me? He won a split decision over Tevin Farmer. Let's get acquainted with that. SD, split. That means there's a S, Sierra, and there's a Delta. Okay? Split decision over Tevin Farmer in their first fight. Last time I checked, Gervonta don't have any split decisions. I just want to throw that out there. Don't be mad. Don't get disgruntled. Okay? Don't become a mully grub, an insurgent. I'm just saying, you look on Tank's record, he doesn't have any split decisions. No, hold up. He doesn't have a majority decision, but he has those 3 letters called a TKO. Yes, he has plenty of those. And he has what is called KOs. Yeah. Stands for knockouts. Okay. I just want to put that out there. Now, recently, the boxing world has been talking about the draw, but we're not going to get too deep into that. I want to stay on William Cepeda. Okay. I want to stay on William Cepeda. The reason being is what is your course of action when you're trying to prove how he's number one in the lightweight division? Like, I'm looking for something important. I'm not looking for an interim title because, there's been several fighters with Rolly, Ryan Garcia. I mean, it's just so many has been out here the interim title, but they say, no, that doesn't count. That doesn't count. Just like Tank's WBA Reggie belt, it doesn't count. Okay, so if Tank's WBA Reggie belt doesn't count, right? And he came to second division champion at 135 with a WBA Reggie title, right? He became a third division by defeating Mario Barrios, who they went 12 rounds. Okay, we have to understand what the criteria consists of. If boxing says that the WBA Reggie title was a championship, and it basically earns you another division if you were to fight, contend with it, and so forth, then it validates who you are as a champion. Now, I was on the phone with Matlock and Sherlock Holmes earlier. Yeah. Y'all didn't know they were still, yeah. And even the Pink Panther. And I said, can y'all help me out with something? They're saying that this fighter in particular, I know y'all know about boxing just a little bit, but they saying this fighter right here, Exhibit A, is number one in this division over here. As you look down his resume, these people will tell you, no, don't look his resume. We're going off what just happened. No. And listen, they tripping because I'm playing some mind games with them right now. I'm playing mind games. I'm doing the same thing they do. They're not really saying Cepeda's number one in the lightweight division. They're trying to say that he's number one over Tank. They're trying to put Shakur Stevenson as number one, and they're trying to say William Cepeda is over Tank. I'm listening to these people talk, and look, come on, man. I'm listening to you talking. You're trying to say Cepeda is above Tank. If he's above Tank, that means he's number one. He's not number two. If William Cepeda is ranked across the division, who cares? Who cares? If William Cepeda is in front of Tank, he's number one. Shakur is not number one in the lightweight division. William Cepeda is not. But if you're saying William Cepeda is in front of Tank, he has to be number one, right? How does that play out? What did he do that was so spectacular except going into two fights with Tevin Farmer? Can anyone explain that to me? Tevin Farmer, when he went in there with William Cepeda, he was coming off a Raymond Murathalia loss. He announced decision in July 2024. Then in November 2024, what happened? He lost to William Cepeda, the guy who they saying that's in front of Tank Davis. I'm saying, how can you say he's number one? Just based off a Tevin Farmer fight? No, hold up. He won the Tevin Farmer fight. Then he goes back in there March 2025, and he fights Tevin Farmer again. And he wins a 12-round majority decision. Then Farmer, that same opponent that was already coming off a loss of Murathalia, his opponent goes in there for Schofield and gets sparked out in round one. Now, getting back to the scrambled eggs, I do apologize for playing those bladed games, but when I hear people talk and they say William Cepeda is coming off a fight with Shakur Stevenson, he did not win the fight. But check this out, though. When I say they're trying to say he's number one, coming off the performance with Shakur Stevenson, they're trying to say we're going to give him a second place participation award for going the distance with Shakur. But yet we're not going to acknowledge that he hurt Shakur in the third round. We're going to give him participation credit for coming in second by fighting a three-weight champion, silver medal Olympian, and Shakur Stevenson, WBC world champion, right? We're going to give him credit for stepping in there. But when anybody that I was listening to said that he won the fight once it went to the scorecards, didn't nobody say that? Nobody put that out there. Nobody put that out there. Nobody. I didn't hear anybody say that they believe William Cepeda won the fight like they was trying to figure out Matias and Puello. People didn't know. Oh, Puello got it. Matias, Puello, Matias. Nobody knew. But when it came to Shakur and William Cepeda, they were saying clearly Shakur won the fight. Okay. So let's understand some things. William Cepeda fought a Tevin Farmer, right? Who, was out here in the conversation of these people because he was a former champion who lost his belt to Jojo Diaz, right? So how do you tally the votes to say he's in front of Tank, all from coming off Tevin Farmer, 2 wins, 1 split decision, and all this other stuff? How do you tally the votes? Who is the ones that's on the voting committee? Who? Where are they? If you cannot tell me the names and the number of these people that voted on William Cepeda being in front of Tank in the lightweight division, then something's terribly, terribly wrong. Because that will make him number one in the division. And just because he came up with a loss, and it was his first loss, last time I checked, Tank didn't have no losses. You all keep on pouting just because he took a knee in his last fight and he didn't get counted. But Cepeda did. Cepeda did get counted. Tank didn't get counted. Why are y'all continuing to stay mad about something that you cannot change? I ask you this all the time. Why are you so angry of something that has passed and we're trying to wait and see when the next fight's going to be announced? Cepeda came up short. He came up short, y'all. Why are y'all up here trying to say that Shakur is number one and then Cepeda is in front of Tank? Who's coming up with this shit? Who's voting on this? What is your blood and urine looking like? When last time you had a thorough checkup? How are you coming up with this information? I don't get it, but I'm not going to take extremely amount of time on it. I just don't know what information that you're using to formalize this conclusion. That's all I want to know. It seemed like y'all desperately trying to say, if we talk about it enough, we can put Tank at the bottom of the ranking system when it comes to champions. Now we just seen Lomachenko retire. We just seen that. And then Keyshawn Davis gets a belt with Ranchik and loses it on the scale. Now the entire focus is fake because now they want to try to raise Shakur Stevenson back up when they was dogging them out in 2024 for having snooze fest with Edwin De Santos fight. And that's all they was talking about. Oh, man, he boring, man. I don't even want to talk to him, man. He boring. That's all you heard. Mumbling and grumbling. Mumbling and grumbling. All them people walking out and knew it, man. They wasn't even messing with Shakur like that. That's why Shakur was like, F the fans. Crawford backed them up, sent out a tweet, man. Hey, F them. You ain't gonna never make them all happy anyway. Now all of a sudden they come back with fake love because they stay trying to see Tank lose. They was trashing. Listen to me, people. They was trashing Lamont Roach before this fight. They was trashing Lamont Roach. They didn't have nothing to good. Look, they didn't have nothing good to say about Roach. They was saying, oh man, nobody want to see Roach. He lost to Jamel Herring here. They was acting like my boy Jamel Herring wasn't nothing. They was acting like Jamel Herring wasn't anything, yo. It was just like when a Crawford conversation come up and they mention Gamboa. When Lamont Roach's name pop up, they mention who again? They mentioned my boy Jamel Herring. He fought Lamont Roach back in November 2019. He had already been in there with Masayuki Ito. My boy Jamel Herring had been in there with Masayuki Ito. May of 2019. He stepped in there with Roach, November 2019, and he beat him in a unanimous decision, defending his WBO World Super Featherweight title. So when it came down to Lamont Roach, finally having the opportunity to become champion, defending it, then you got to ask yourself. I take that back. I'm getting ahead of myself. Lamont Roach going in there and fighting Hector Luis Garcia. Okay. He went in there and fought Hector Luis Garcia, a common opponent of Tank Davis. And people was like, okay, he got a title. Who was Hector Luis Garcia? He already been in there with Tank. See how they was just downplaying? He already been in there with Tank. Well, how much credit should we give him? Because he possibly was damaged goods because Tank lit him up and he couldn't see. He couldn't see, so they had to stop the fight. Lamont Roach beats him, gets the title, and we hear that he's going to move up there and fight Tank Davis. And I swear to you, man, a lot of people was dogging Lamont Roach out really bad, yo. Really bad. They was dogging Lamont Roach out that he won nothing. Don't nobody want to see him come up there from 130 to 35. This fight ain't gonna last. He gonna get knocked out. Listen, bro. Since Jamel Herring, Lamont Roach has been in the green. Been in the green until he stepped in there with Javante and he earned a draw. He earned his second draw. You want to know the last time he had a draw? It was April 2018 against Orlando Cruz. So it wasn't like he hasn't experienced a draw. But peep this out, though. They was dogging Lamont Roach out. They was dogging Tank out. That he was fighting Lamont Roach. And then just like they doing Shakur Stevenson, they're coming around after the fact, in hindsight, that he went in there and fought Javante Davis. This is the same reaction that they gave William Cepeda. They're trying to give William Cepeda participation and attendance points for going the distance and losing to Shakur Stevenson. But then turn around, Lamont Roach does exact same thing. And they say, he goes the distance with Tank Davis. And then per the scorecards and them, tallying the votes on what would have happened if Tank would have then took a knee and all this other stuff and he would have been counted, Roach would have won the fight, right? Now, all of a sudden, they Lamont Roach fans. Now, all of a sudden, when the name pop up, they say what? Oh, man, Tank. What if Lamont Roach beat Tanks this time? What if Lamont Roach got his number? What if this? What if that? They have all these theories, man. They have all these creative scenarios that they want to bring into the picture. They have 1,000 scenarios. Boxing fans are incredibly disloyal. They trying their best to crap on Tank based off a Lamont Roach fight, who they was criticizing him for losing to Jamel Herring. But then it comes William Cepeda, who went life and limb with Tevin Farmer, and comes back around here and goes the distance with Shakur Stevenson, and they want to say, you know what? Just because we're trying our best to regain and re-energize support for Shakur Stevenson, our Olympian. They started to use words like our, y'all. Oh, you are our Olympian. Shakur Stevenson, our. They weren't even saying that last year. But let 2025 roll around. I guess some of these people got their vaccinations. I don't know. Typhoids, flu shot. I don't know what it was. But all of a sudden, they want to hop back on the Shakur, bandwagon because he went in there and had a superb performance. And then they want to do a carry one, a plus one. They want to do a plus one, yo. William Cepeda, yes, we have voluntarily brought you along for the narrative bandwagon jamboree. Yes, all expenses paid. What this why this is so inclusive is that Shakur Stevenson showed us that he can do what we pretty much expected. He can fight in the center square. He can get off the ropes. He has a very superb dynamic defense. Has some of the fastest hands in boxing. We've seen that. But you also punched at a high volume. Okay, a lot of those shots missed the mark, but you did punch at a high volume. What we're trying to say that you performed better than what we thought against Shakur Stevenson. And in the third round, you did have success. You lined him up and then landed a very nice, solid shot. Even Shakur's daughter co-signed that in an interview. But we want to do this for you. Since you was a good sport and you came in second, we want to bring you around in our whirlwind of biasness, and we want to start pushing the narrative, okay? It's going to be a bumpy ride, but we're going to push this narrative, okay, there, Cepeda, that you are better than Tank, okay? Just be prepared. You're going to see people in your DMs, yeah, man, they was talking about you was better than Tank, man. I had to think to myself, well, yeah, I think because a lot of people saying, well, I think that Shakur, this, that, and the other, Shakur beats Tank off of Cepeda win, but damn well knows that Cepeda isn't Tank. Okay, it's not like Tank hasn't fought a tall fighter. It's not like he has not fought a shorter fighter than himself. I mean, he's fought bigger fighters and he fought smaller fighters. But make no mistake about it, William Cepeda is not Gervonta Tank Davis, El Chin Checker. He's not. You all need to quit, but you continue. That's what makes boxing media just so crazy. That's why I try not to come in here and just, run some scrambled eggs on you. Because y'all sitting up here trying to bring fighters along for participation trophies. We want to bring William Cepeda along for his going the distance and losing. How does that work? How do you justify him being in front of Tank and he doesn't even make the money Tank makes? Oh, better yet, let me go to a look. I'm about to hurt some feelings. Let me go to an old, antiquated source of conversation that the media on here in the YTC loves to use. You know what that is? How many tickets have Cepeda sold in the main event? Just please, because they was getting on Shakur about this last year. He don't sell tickets. That went along with he's a boring fighter, right? So if you saying Cepeda is better than Tank, how many ticket sales? Is it one fight that his ticket sales exceed that of Tank Davis? Has he been able to go in there with an opponent where they had highlight ticket sales where people was like, oh my God, they did absolutely grand numbers? Have y'all heard anything about this? Shout out to CW in the building. What's good with it, bro? Haynes Legacy in the building. I see you, bro. God bless. Hope all is well. Again, better your way. You know what I'm saying? God bless, bro. AB on deck. What's good, Arnold? Malik on deck. What's good with it? But y'all understand what I'm saying? Like, they love talking about ticket sales, but somehow it drifts away when they're trying to say, we're going to push a biased narrative about Tank because he's up for another domestic violence case. So to kind of blend it in with what's going on in his personal life, we want to make it seem like he ain't fought nobody. So we're going to go in here and cry, bitch and moan and say, oh, Tank ain't fought nobody. He ain't giving us what we doing. Bro, he's making money than all them guys. Isn't that what business stand for? Boxing is in it for the business, right? If that is indeed the case, and we have sat here and crossed this threshold several times over, isn't boxing considered a business? Is it called a belt system, or boxing is considered a business? Boxing is considered a business. With the business, we talk about the money. The money is what makes the business flourish and thrive, right? We're not talking about no freaking belts, even though the belts allow fighters to levy or negotiate a higher purse in certain cases. But I'll be damned, William Cepeda get a participation trophy for coming in second, and you all going to try to ride, forcibly zip tie him to Shakur's coattail in these conversations and act like he's better than Tank. He should be higher than Tank because he's fighting who you really didn't care. And look, I'm not here to jump on Shakur because I thought he had a brilliant performance last night. But if I really want to push my narrative, right, I'll say, well, at the end of the day, nobody was looking for some of those fighters on Shakur Stevenson's record. Point blank, period. Nobody was really looking for those fighters. I know it's tough for certain people to pay attention and understand where I'm at with it, respectfully. But at the end of the day, when he moved to 135, nobody was really looking for that guy they call Yoshino, even though he was undefeated. Okay, Edwin De Los Santos. Okay, cool. He came in here. Edwin De Los Santos came in here with Shakur, and he only had one loss, right? That was against William Foster III back in 2022. He goes in there and picks up another loss against Shakur Stevenson. But Shakur Stevenson get partial credit because they say he was unwilling to engage with Edwin De Los Santos. So you can only imagine how heavy the umbrella was trying to repel that hailstorm that they was bringing on Shakur Stevenson. Oh, he was scared. He was in a defensive bubble. The shell was super strong. They say he didn't want to engage Edwin De Los Santos. Isn't that what he said? Isn't what they were saying they was criticizing Shakur about? He didn't want to engage Edwin De Los Santos. So from November 23 to July 2024, he went in there with Artem. Nobody was looking for Artem. They didn't feel that Artem was on Shakur's level. Recycle bin. Josh Padley. Floyd Schofield pulled out the fight. He was sick, allegedly. Josh Padley came in, last-minute replacement. No credit. Cycle bin. Then he fight William Cepeda. So you're talking about a fighter who came in here, and we can say 4 fights. Shakur Stevenson winning the 4 fights. Shakur Stevenson entered into 4 fights in the lightweight division. 1 out of the 4 fights, fans give him credit for, and that was Edwin De Los Santos. Then he gets another one where you say he has 4 fights. Now it's his 5th fight at 135. William Cepeda becomes the 2nd. 2 out of 5 fights. 2 out of the 5 fights at 135. Now he gets credit for 2 of the 5 fights. Gervonta Davis has came in. He's been in 135 for a Gamboa fight. Dropped back down. He's been traveling. Dropped back down to 130 while he was a champion at 135. Fought Leo Santa Cruz, right? Then went from 30, skipped 35 all the way up to 140. I don't know if y'all knew that, but he went from Leo Santa Cruz, October 2020, and he fought June of 2021 from 130 all the way up to 140. Yeah. From 130, junior lightweight, all the way up to super lightweight to fight Mario Barrios. You know, the stuff that they praise Mikey Garcia for doing. You know what I'm saying? The stuff that they say that can't be done. Tank has already moved up and jumped 2 weight divisions to a division that he didn't fight at. He didn't fight at. You know what I'm saying? He went up there and fought Mario Barrios 2 weight class higher than his previous fight with Leo Santa Cruz. He beat him. What he do? Move back down. The Mexican killer that they were saying, Isaac Cruz, he went the distance. And what were they saying? Oh, did Tank get exposed? Did Tank get exposed? Did Tank get exposed? They say a star was born. Isaac Cruz has never really been the same out the Tank. He went in there and did what he had to do. Tank, that is. And he went the distance. But they saying Tank got exposed. And then we already know all the other fights that surely got him paid. The Rolando Romero that's currently holding a belt at 147. Oh, that aged beautifully right there. Oh, Mario Barrios that's currently holding a belt at 147. Wow, that aged gracefully. And look, you're saying he gets no credit for already moving up a higher division and moving back down? He doesn't get no credit from going from Leo Santa Cruz to Mario Barrios. He gets no credit. And then, you go to Hector Luis Garcia, fought him while he was a reigning champion. But yet, Shakur and William Cepeda is ahead of Tank Davis at 135. Oh, they're going to start talking about the weight. I get it. Ryan Garcia stopped him. So he doesn't get any credit for Ryan Garcia. The same credit that you was giving Ryan Garcia for the way he beat up Devin Haney prior to the test coming back. You always talking about how Devin Haney got exposed. And you was bigging up Ryan Garcia, bigging him up until the Ostarine test came back positive. But that didn't have nothing to do with Tank. Tank went up there and stopped him. There wasn't no positive test on his watch. Then Frank Martin, tough competitor, he went there and stopped him in the 8th round. And then Lamont Roach, he went the distance. The man is 30 victories in with 28 knockouts, yo. He has one of the highest KO percentages in the sport. And I'm going to leave that right there. I'm going to leave it right there because as you look at the thumbnail, Shakur Stevenson, even though he had a conversation with Conor Benn, says he still won't Tank Davis. I guess people was telling him, hey, man, why are you going to talking all that Conor Benn talk and we really want Tank Davis? That's who we really want, man. What's going on? What's going on? You need to, dial it back in and let's start talking about Tank because that's the money fight. And we want you to fight him next. And we'll see what happens. You know what I'm saying? We will see if this fight comes to fruition because these fighters, they be out here just doing impromptu. You say you want to fight Conor Benn, but now, you know what I'm saying? I mean, you want to fight Shakur Stevenson. Either way it goes, I don't have nothing bad to say about Shakur Stevens' performance against William Cepeda. I'm just trying to get clarity on how these sea-blind individuals try to continue to say that Shakur is number one in the division. Shakur ain't made that Tank money consistently. No. Come on, bro. William Cepeda definitely hasn't. What tickets has he sold in the main event? Sounds familiar when y'all talk about Brian Norman. Y'all say he ain't sold no tickets, right? So keep the same energy from William Cepeda. Don't put all these stipulations on black fighters and then come up when it's Mexican fighters and you try to give them a complimentary fruit basket. We just want to welcome you aboard the Shakur Stevenson coattail extravaganza. Let us know if you need anything. All expenses paid. Y'all be up there sound like Brian Custard. You know what I'm saying? Like, goddamn. Y'all want to put 2 fighters in front of Tank Davis, and clearly, it's a difference in ticket sales. Clearly, it's a difference in monetary revenue. Clearly, it's a difference in excitement value. Clearly. And just like y'all always wishing and hoping, y'all better be focusing just on making the fight happen in the media, right? before you talk about anything else. Just focus on trying to make this fight happen before anything else. Don't try to go up and predict that Shakur Stevens is gonna beat Tank up and all that. Listen, Shakur is not Cepeda. Shakur is not goddamn Josh Padley. Okay, Shakur is not Edwin De Los Santos, goddammit. He's not Artem. Y'all better be patient. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Let's get to the big deal. And shout out to both of those fighters. El Chinchecker and Shakur Stevenson. Hope they make that fight. Let's talk about the Marvel comic fight of this century. The mega fight. The super middleweight undisputed showcase. Tickets have hit the building, y'all. Numbers have started to grow from the cracks of the Allegiant Stadium. Yes, those numbers that would split your pockets in half if you don't got it. The seats and the numbers are out. And these are not cheap seats, especially if you want to sit close enough to the ring so you can possibly see Canelo get hit with a Bud Crawford counter shot and the sweat travels over the top rope into your lap, or maybe it might land on your forehead. You know what I'm saying? Depending on how bad the fight gets and how quick it goes downhill for Canelo, it might be some bloodshed. There might be a punch from Crawford that causes blood to splatter on those expensive clothes you just bought just for the fight. It's going to happen, but the ticket sales are going to be accessible to the fans real soon, and they're not cheap if you want to sit up close to say, yeah, that's me right there. Ooh, they looking steep. I mean, those of you that's not really about that, you're gonna be sitting up high. You better bring an umbrella umbrella over there, because it might be some birds up there, taking care of their chicks or family and shit. Real talk. They might, have a sick family member and they ate something bad. They might be shitting all over the place. Y'all might be able to afford them tickets up there, yo. But I'm just saying, support the fight. This fight right here definitely going to do incredible numbers on Netflix. I know you've heard Amanda Serrano and Katie Taylor. 6 million. Listen, last time I checked, this fight's supposed to be on Netflix, right? If they did supposedly 6 million on Netflix, Crawford and Canelo is going to do 100 million thousand. They're going to do 2 million thousand and 100 million. Their viewership is going to be extraterrestrial. For real. If that fight did what it was supposed to do after the co-main event, shit the bed. Come on, bro. The cameras, in my opinion, should have moved around the area, during the fight. I guarantee you would have seen people walking out. But they tried their best to bloviate the numbers, but you're not gonna have to bloviate the numbers with Crawford and Canelo, because even though the seats are high just to get close to the ring, it's some people out there that has the funds to do this. They have the funds to go out there and buy these tickets, and it's going to be incredible. This is going to be historic. It's going to be etched in the boxing annals, and we're going to get to see Omaha's own Terrence Bud Crawford become 3-time undisputed champion when he put those Omaha paws on Canelo, when he goes upside Canelo's head. Now, I didn't do this live just to talk about Terrence Crawford and Canelo, what I perceive is going to happen, but I just want you all to support the fight. Really, this is a mega fight. It's definitely a championship extravaganza, a super middleweight showcase. And if you want to put it in the bright lights, we're talking about undisputed. Undisputed. This is undisputed, y'all. This is for the undisputed super middleweight titles. Yes, sir. This is on a whole nother scale of recognition when it comes to the great, the legacy, Hall of Fame. This is one of those fights, man, that is so important for both fighters. I don't care what a lot of people saying it's just trying to dilute it. You know what I'm saying? With their own drool. They trying to dilute it and say Canelo gets nothing from this fight. But we all know that's not true. Because we've seen in the past where a fighter is doing what they're supposed to do above and beyond. And when they lose the title, the fighter that defeated them, they get full maximum credit for doing something that fighter never got credit for when they was actually reigning defending. So being that Crawford is an undefeated fighter, and also he's not carrying a belt at 168. He's challenging, but Canelo Alvarez, it makes it that much exciting because he's pretty much moving up 2 weight classes, like we all know. 2, that's the golden number. 2 weight classes, and it's supposed to be a 14-pound difference. And he's had 12 months rather, to basically add on that muscle correctly. If that's not enough numbers for you to say that this fight is going to do grand attention, especially on Netflix, it's going to be unbelievable, yo. The reason why it's going to be unbelievable because Netflix have basically tightened up ship for people streaming on their network without having a subscription. They're locking that down. So when it comes to this by September, we're going to get some raw numbers, yo. We're going to get history. We're going to get raw numbers with history, and it's going to tell you, God damn, these 2 fighters went out there and did it. Look at the numbers. This is going to be breaking news. I guarantee it. This fight right here is going to shatter some of the top pay-per-view that ever existed at the top 5. Floyd Mayweather is going to hop on his yacht and he's going to drive directly into the Bermuda Triangle and attempt to disappear. Floyd Mayweather, when he hear these numbers come out, he's going to try to become Machiavelli. He's going to go away for 7 years and come back and be in disguise. Hey, I'm not trying to ask you any questions, but whatever happened to that guy, Money Mayweather? The other guy, Floyd Mayweather. They had all those, the drip and expensive cars and the money. Whatever happened to him? I heard he was last seen on the waterway with his yacht and he disappeared. I think when the numbers come crashing down, and I can assure you, man, it's not anything that's telling me that this fight's not going to be less than their expectations. I don't think it's going to be less than expectations. I think it's going to exceed expectations. This is going to be something to remember. And the ticket sales, the tickets that you purchase, you definitely going to feel it. And you should feel it. You should want to pay whatever the seat price is out there, because this is not just your average fight, man. This is a historical event. This is boxing history. This is legacy, yo. Run the blimp high in the sky, man. This is incredible. I can't wait. I cannot wait. Shout out to OG Bruce Gas Boxing Jazz some more, man. Salute to you. Shout out to the 5-piece super chat by the real CW. Chris, what's good, man? He said, W says, I like Stevenson, but Eggman is not it. Stevenson need to finish the mission to be undisputed 135 facts. So he called that, he called him being Eggman. C-Dub called him Eggman, yo. I think that's the first time I heard somebody call him Eggman. We know he was eating 1,000 eggs a day, but he, C-Dub think that Stevenson should digress from that thought process because clearly he's still 135er. He just, in the moment, he said, you know what? Why not get publicity and go up here and talk? Do we really believe that Shakur is going to be moving up to 147? She Dub say, no, stay up here. You got business to take care of 135. We want to see you and Tank. I get it. I get it, bro. I get it. Haynes said, no, WCS, let's not downplay the young kings because nobody cared to see the roach of the first Garcia. We can do this to any fighter. Why can't they both just be great? Hey, they both 3-weight world champions. We talking about Tank and Shakur. But I'm not downplaying Shakur not being number one. Ticket sales, money is a business. They always put that up there, Haynes. They always put it up there that the ticket sales. That's what they say, right? That's what they were saying about Brian Norman. Oh, Brian Norman, he ain't really sold nothing out. You know what I'm saying? They say Norman ain't sold nothing out in his hometown. But you're going to give William Cepeda a participation trophy for getting second? And you're not going to mention any ticket sales because you want to put it all in Shakur's lap? Of course, Shakur was the A-side heading into a Cepeda fight. But where's all the numbers and ticket sales? When you talk about moving fighters in front of Tank, where they sold the tickets at? Please help me understand. But shout out to C-Dub for the super chat, big dog. Thanks for your support. One love to you, brother. BG, what's good? Salute WCS. No notification. Hey man, we just got to stick with what we know. I want to give a big shout out to Haynes Legacy, man, and the family. Shout out to the $8 super chat, Cash App, $8 in the Cash App. I appreciate you, man. You know what I'm saying? Salute. I know you and your family are full speed right now, and putting in that time and effort every day. That's what family's about, right? And y'all definitely keep your prayers open for Haynes, man. The brother continue to, each and every day improve his health. He's going through some health problems right now, but a great guy. You know what I'm saying? Great friend. You know what I'm saying? Salute to him. Swat Jones on deck, man. I see you. What's good? Carlos Rosado on deck. Tank ain't fighting no Shakur. Hey, one thing I know, if Tank ain't fighting Shakur, I don't feel no way about it. Like, what's supposed to happen? Hold on, y'all. All right, I'm back. Yeah, I got you. Much appreciated once again, man. Thanks for the support. Keep your strength up. Stay focused. Look way ahead. You know what I'm saying? Salute to your fam, man. Support is mandatory. You know what I'm saying? They're going to get you through it, man. Gorilla in the midst. Tank name starting to come back up and brew. Tank fighting court and still one of the top names mentioned in the YTC. That says it all. I agree with you, Swar. I agree. His name is one of the most talked about right now. And the man, and they haven't even really mentioned his next fight. They said some flyers up in NY. I don't know if that's still the case because they said it was flooding over there. I don't know. Shout out to OG Golden, man. W said salute. Is not fighting anybody anytime soon. Tank is not fighting anybody anytime soon. We'll see. I used to tell people whenever Tank got a fight coming up, if there's no promo, he usually get arrested. You know, that's his promo. He get arrested. I used to say that about Tank. Whenever he has a fight coming up, he get arrested. Something happened. They stand out. And it's not the most positive look, but something happens outside of the ring. Shakur not look. Like Haynes say, don't dilute the young kings. I get it. But I don't have Shakur being number one if these conversations float around like residue on top of water and they just floating around. And one fighter, they want to talk about they ain't selling tickets. The next fighter, they want to talk about they selling tickets. But yet when it comes to Tank, they want to talk about Lamont Roach going to a draw. No, man, get out of here. Get out of here. Don't nobody believe that BS. You want to all of a sudden forget about numbers that he do. People want to come see him talk. I mean, people want to come see him fight. But you don't want to mention numbers with Tank. Everybody else, you try to prove a point who being where they supposed to be is all about ticket sales, putting buns in the seats, right? But when it comes to Tank, man, he about to retire, man. He went to distance with Lamont Roach. Don't nobody want to hear that, bro. I don't want to hear that. No way. Tank sleeping here. I stand on that. Hey, it's gonna be interesting. It's possible. It's highly possible. El Chin Checker checks in. If Cepeda rocked him, Tank putting him to sleep with a leather bite. Okay. Hey, Swah. He's treating this chat just like a Tuesday of the week. You know what I'm saying? I mean, Monday and Tuesday don't get no love, man. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I can see if it was Thursday or Friday. Monday and Tuesday ain't getting no love, dog. You know what I'm saying? Hey, Swah, you been on a rampage lately, man. You've been unhappy with certain aspects of boxing. Shout out to Sheriff, say Bud would grill up Canelo like Carne Asada. Hey, I want it to be a great fight, man. I got Bud winning by all means necessary. Shout out to the boxing queen Jessica in the building. Salute to you, Jessica. Hope all is well with you and your family. I was just catching up on your last live. I appreciate you, though. I appreciate you. You know what I'm saying? Jessica is the first lady over here for real. She the one be showing up. Look at Golden. Mike Tyson sold those last Netflix views. Hey man, if Katie Taylor and Manny Serrano, and it's smart how they did that too. They went to Netflix, who you just can't put on your fire stick and think you're gonna stream a Netflix fight. No. They are locking it down. And you know what? It's about to be a lot of money grossed in these fights on Netflix, man. Because they're cracking down on these IP addresses, man. It's not associated with accounts. They have the general area locked in the grid, man. What accounts that's associated with this account internal to the household, yo? I like it. For real, I like it, man. It was a nice little, dead space in there where, the sport of boxing pretty much lost out. These fights was able to be on a fire stick and they can stream this, that, and that. It's going to be very, very difficult to do that on Netflix. Very difficult. And just think about it. This is all coming together. leading up to September. It's all coming together. Cinco de Crawford, I'm with Bud. Shakur don't have nothing to do with Bud, in my opinion. I'm a Bud fan, but Shakur, not so much. I got Bud over Canelo. Let's go, Bud. No doubt. I agree. Concur. I concur. I concur. 100 million quadrillion, 1,000 numbers that don't make any sense. This is about to be bananas. For real, this fight is about to be bananas, man. This fight is about to be unbelievable. You can't compare Netflix numbers to pay-per-view numbers. Oranges to apples. Listen, I'm just comparing numbers in general to the viewership. The viewership. And I believe that this pay-per-view, the numbers are going to be incredible. The pay-per-view numbers are going to be incredible, I think, I mean, let's just look at it this way. I'm not sure how the whole Netflix works. Like, I know you have to have a subscription. Just like the Zone, you have a subscription, but you still got to pay pay-per-view. And I'm thinking this is the same way. If I'm mistaken, if I may be mistaken, I would think you could pay pay-per-view on Netflix. What's going on, Blue Hustle? What up, WCS in the hottest chat? You already know. What up with you, man? Yeah, Ben is the Eggman, yo. He said, I don't want to see him fight the Eggman, yo. I don't even think I heard that before, the Eggman. I like to see that fight, though. I'm not going to hold you. If Tank can't fight, don't wait on Tank. I would like to see Conor Ben and Shakur. Because Shakur is talking about moving up 2-weight division. Yeah. He said, we know Ben be heavy on that estrogen and scientific study. He ate so many eggs, he overdosed. Eggs are potent. If you talking about him eating eggs and then maybe drinking raw eggs are potent, yo. I used to be a guy who drink raw eggs. Sometimes before I go on a damn 5 to 8 to 10 mile. Yeah. I was all about the protein, bro. But I didn't do the Conor Ben way. I wasn't dumping no 10,000 eggs, down a day. You know what I'm saying? Chickens out here goddamn struggling for attention. Hey, we need help out here. Conor Ben is harassing us in the middle of the night. We need file some charges. Conor Ben be out there molesting them chickens. You might be goddamn taking them chickens in a room and cutting the light on and off, trying to get as many eggs as he can, goddamn it. Them chickens is goddamn trying to form a motherfucking alliance. This ain't right. We're supposed to be free. I hope that Ben and Stevenson happen. I mean, I just pray it happens. Happen. I like to see that fight. Real talk. Appreciate you, man. Shakur feeling like a big dog and unstoppable. Hey, I'm along for the ride. But what's up with that kid matchup though? Need that. Yeah, there are people saying, like I mentioned the other night. Look, I want to see Kid Austin go in here to this matchup too. If they're not going to waste our time. I don't want to go through it no more. If they're going to be real hard negotiators with big fights, and they're trying to prove themselves like so many other fighters, to including Shakur Stevenson, prove themselves, Devin Haney, who just didn't get the highest pay in certain cases, but they still went in there and tried to make this fight. I'm just saying, I don't want to go through the carnival games with Team Schofield and outprice themselves and say, well, Shakur didn't want to fight. You got to fight him if you call the man Buttercup. You got to fight him. Prove that he's Buttercup. Jay on deck, what's good? He said, well, W says, been a minute since I've been on your show. What do you think? who do you think will win the Crawford Canelo fight and what round? I'm not taking a round. I mean, that would be negligence on my part to be like the very same people that I criticize. But I can't tell you around. You know what I'm saying? I can't tell you around. But I will say this: I got Crawford all day, every day. I mean, you see him in the thumbnail. I got him beating Canelo. I got him beating Canelo. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. I have him beating Canelo. I believe Crawford's ring IQ is higher than Canelo. I believe he has more of a variety when it comes to skills, not just with his countering, but the way he moves in the fight, how he sets up appointments with his punch output. He just don't go in there like William Cepeda and just throwing punches, just to hope his glove touched something. It's like, oh, I hit him. Oh yeah. How much was that punch right there? Oh, that was like 1.5 points. Okay. He's just going in there punching and punching and punching. Crawford don't do that. He's very selective. And that is efficacious to his effectiveness. I like it. It's not going to change, but all love for me, though. I'm fair. D Ray live on the drive. What's good, D Ray? I forgot I said that about being in the chat tonight, cold blooded. Kid reputation for making it to the ring for big name fights is doo doo. No cap. He has to come with this Shakur fight for me to get on board and start talking about him and Shakur. Nah, I'll talk about Shakur and Tank Davis. I'll talk about Shakur and Conor Ben. I felt that both fighters was sincere in shaking hands, even though a handshake doesn't lock you into anything except a gentleman's bet. That's all that is. It's just like an agreement. Yes, that's all. We provided each other with a gesture of recognition and we agreed to fight. That doesn't mean it's going to happen. Okay. That doesn't mean it's going to happen. Period. Respect for that Tevin fight boosts his brand a lot. No cap. I don't see how I can boost William Cepeda's brand by beating Tevin Farmer when he was already coming off a loss. And then he went back in there for a rematch with Tevin Farmer that was, had several losses, like Thomas Delorme did when he fought Boots. When does the losses stop for certain people, man? If it was Crawford with all these losses, they'd be like, oh my God, Crawford, he need to hang it up, man. They don't say that about Manny Pacquiao. Manny Pacquiao about to come back. What they say? Oh man, he's great. 8 divisions. Oh my God, Manny is just boxing royalty. We love Manny. Manny gonna get that criticism. They love them some Manny. Everyone's bragging about Shiraz reach when he's only has a 75-inch reach, and Crawford has a 74. Well, we know Crawford has them long arms, but also with Shiraz, ask Edgar Berlanga how long his reach is. Hey, ask Edgar, bro. They up here trying to draft up a full-blown investigation as if those gloves, those hand wraps should have be impounded because it was a yellow-like substance on the gloves. And they're trying to say that, it might have been something similar to that of Antonio Margarita with plaster Paris. Be honest with you. When they show Antonio Margarita plaster Paris, it was more so like a reddish color, not a yellow color. Let me see if I can pull it up right quick and show you. Because people just don't be doing Antonio. Let me see, can I find one right quick? I need a good one. I need a good one. They have some pictures out here with his hand wrap, but they're not really good, solid pictures. But I didn't think it was a high honey or pollinated like yellow, an egg yolk type yellow. I just didn't get that from Antonio Margarita's hand wraps. You know what I'm saying? And that's when he fought Cotto. Yeah, I'm about to let that go because I can't really, and it's probably for a good reason that they don't want you to be able to pull that up. I get it. Shout out to Jamal Neezy in the building, man. I see you. What's good with it, Neezy? You know how you doing over there, man? I don't know what part you're in, but is it flooding over your way? Exactly. They believe something was wrong with his raps, but when it comes to Wilder, he was just making excuses. Man, hey, BG, you know how the live could go. You know it can go left real quick, but not this late. It can go left. That's why you gotta hit him with the okey doke sometime and remind them when they talk about all these ticket sales and what fighters have done and selling tickets. But no, you want to put fighters in front of each other, and they really ain't sold tickets like that. They really haven't been to the Barclays and sold the Barclays out like that. Come on, stop playing, bro. They haven't hit main events like that. And you're going to say William Cepeda's in front of Shakur? In front of Tank, along with Tank being in front of, Shakur being in front of Tank. Come on, man. That's crazy, yo. That's crazy. You're going to put Cepeda and Stevenson in front of Tank? What? And this man doesn't he have multiple championships? Yes, doesn't he have multiple divisions? And you're going to try to say that Cepeda off this performance is fighting the people that we want. No. You're trying to say Shakur fighting the people. No. No. We weren't looking for Artem, Yoshino. Come on, bro. We weren't looking for no Padley. And the people was looking at Edwin De Los Santos, and they was unsure until he stepped in there, and Shakur was kind of, hesitant. But that fight is over. They want to go off 2 out of the last 5 of significant fights. Edwin De Los Santos and William Cepeda. Those are the 2 out of the 5 significant fights that you can credit him for. Tank has way more significant fights at 35. And he moved, he jumped from 130 to 140 to fight Mario Barrios. That was just a fine little detail there, just to throw that nugget out there, so he don't get no credit. Yeah, Padley the Punisher, man. Padley the Punisher. But when it comes down to this fight right here, man, the tickets are going to be accessible to those wallets and purses. Okay, it's not just subjugated, to freaking wallets now. These purses, in order for us to fully support this fight, women's gonna have to go dig in that purse. You're gonna have to cut your flashlight in on your phone and go searching in that purse for old change. Lottery tickets. You're gonna have to it's gonna have to be a combined effort. If you cohabitate together, y'all gonna have to do a combined effort. Go cut grass, hedges, clean the street. You know what I'm saying? Work temporarily for a sanitation department and go in these department stores and pick up their trash. It's just to make those extra dollars so you'll be comfortable over there. I don't want y'all going over here saying, I got a ticket, but I'm hungry as hell. You'll be out here begging, hey man, I lost my wallet. Do you think you can buy me and my girl something to eat, man? We've been starving, man. We've been starving something fierce. Where you want to go? Oh, they got a big time. Only if you can get it. They got a steak, real good steak restaurant. I want to try that $99. I want to try that $99 steak everybody's been talking about, man. I heard it's very juicy, tender. Come on, man. Y'all gonna have to get together, combine effort. to make this ticket sale happen. And also you have to take in consideration the plane tickets. I checked the flights already. The flights are pretty steep. The flights are pretty steep. Now, let me just give you a little helpful tour guide right quick. So let's say let's go into this one right here. Okay. So look, I'm just telling you, I'm going in through the flights, the cheap flights, right? Me, I like it. I like to roll in like Thursday. You know what I'm saying? Roll in Thursday. Fly out Sunday. So find your flight. So the flights right now from where I'm at to Las Vegas. Okay. And this is not a trip you can make with a any type of mobile recreational equipment like a skateboard. You can't push kick to Vegas. Okay, the tickets. If you want to go Frontier, now I don't know if you're gonna be able to fly inside the cabin the whole time. The flight may come apart a little bit. You might be hanging on to the wing all the way till you touch down in Vegas. I don't know, but those flights are pretty cheap. You know what I'm saying? They're like $200 round trip. We're talking about Spirit and Front. I don't fly on Frontier, nor do I fly on Spirit. No disrespect to anybody who does. I don't. I'd rather make my own paper plane and you know what I'm saying, laminate it, test it out a little bit, aerodynamics, and I'll try to fly on it to Vegas. I just got to find a high point, and that's where I need to go. Let's check Delta. The Delta, really the prices, run up because that's Delta right there. That's just how that works, man. That's just how that works. So, the flights are fairly, they still out there. They pretty inexpensive. For American Airlines, the economy is like 200, main cabin plus another 50, about 250 or something. So but you're still good. And those of you, that like flying first class, right? Let me give you a first class ticket price, because some of you want to stretch your legs out and you want to be able to eat that complimentary pretzel souffle that they have up there, right? With nuts and cheese. Okay. Let's check first class round trip. This is from where I'm at in the A to Vegas. I don't know where you at and what it'll be, what the cost's going to be, but I'm pretty sure if you take economy, you good. First class is not that bad right now. It's really not that bad. But I'm not flying on Alaskan Airlines. And the more and more I go down to look for the airlines I do, let me check the box on the airlines that I fly on and see what the prices go up to. Yeah, nice and juicy. Them first class tickets run up. They run you about 1,500 round trip. That's Delta, United, American. Yeah, they running you a nice little penny. But anyway, I just wanted to give y'all a little taste of what the flight's going to be like. But like I said before, if you want to fly Spirit, Frontier, that's up to you. I have no problem with it. Make sure you give a good prayer before you leave that damn flight line. Yeah, I appreciate you pulling up, bro. I don't put that on nobody else, man. Thanks for the support though. First class only gets you an extra olive and a little bottle of liquor. Is not worth it. No, I mean, from the flight from the A, I think we get a meal. I think we get a meal, dog. You know what I'm saying? I think we get a meal. But I want to give a big shout out to the hottest chat in the MF and game, man. I just want to let y'all know the ticket sales are out. They're posted. Shout out to the hottest chat in the MF and game. We should do it again, another place, another time. Continue to keep your prayers up for Haynes' legacy, man. And Toby Bartlett. Okay? And Toby Bartlett across the pond. He hasn't been doing well health-wise. Just keep your prayers open for him too. Right? And hopefully everyone that's in the chat that has to get up in the morning, hope you have a wonderful Wednesday. Tomorrow. Hope you make it safely to work. I'm